Piece by Piece is in theaters now. This is a musical biopic about Pharrell Williams, totally told with computer animated Legos. I gotta say, this was an ingenious way to tell Pharrell's story. You know, he's nerdy, he's eclectic. This fits in with his style and musical aesthetic, very on brand for him. This film bridges his humble beginnings, his origin story in Virginia Beach, how he struggled in the traditional class structure and didn't really get out of his shell until he was introduced to music. And once that hit, it was over. He never turned back. Music and colors really changed his perspective on life, the world, and the arts. Though stylistically this is told through Legos, the formula is narrative documentary. Most of it is told from Pharrell's perspective, although there are interviews from many of the artists that he had worked with: Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Missy Elliott, Timbaland, Timberlake, Gwen Stefani, Busta Rhymes, Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, and of course, mega producer Teddy Riley, who really did give Pharrell, Shay, and Chad their start and catapulted them to hitmaker status. They were so in demand, and Teddy Riley gets credit for giving the Neptunes their shot. The film is fraught. It is chock full of wit, humor, charm, vibrant animation, and a soundtrack of our lives with some of the biggest hits in music that he and the Neptunes curated and created. I gotta say, I loved this film. It is very entertaining and it is very interactive. Because I know all of the songs, I couldn't help but sing along. When you hear a Pharrell track, you recognize it right away. When you hear Neptune's track, you recognize it right away because his imprint is on it. He was able to really wedge away in the music industry. He is regarded as one of the greatest producers of all time, really. And he only needed that one shot from Teddy Riley, and he got it. And I am so glad that the music is in this biopic, this musical biopic, because it really does help drive the narrative. It had me singing. It's very interactive. I had a blast from my seat watching this film. Now, the film does touch on his contribution to Lux fashion just a little bit, but it's really a profile on his entry into the music business and how his sound, his unique, distinct sound, shaped a generation of music across all genres. I was really surprised at how much of his backstory I know. I tend to keep up with artists from the DMV because I'm from DC. And so a lot of this I already knew, but it was so refreshing to see the story that I knew being told in this unique way, being told with the Legos. The colors are so vibrant. The music felt really nostalgic to me because he created so many hits for so many people that I was still entertained, even though I knew a lot of the information. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite films of 2024. And I will also say, this is a shoe-in for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. Now, I know there is stiff competition with Memoir of a Snail and Inside Out 2 and Wild Robot, but if Academy voters give this a chance, I think they will be very inclined to vote for it because it is so creative. This is a really good film. Like I said, one of my favorites of 2024. I think this will be in my top 10 come December 31st. I highly recommend that you see this. Now, it gets nerdy. It'll have you nerding out a lot because that is Pharrell's aesthetic. He is a super producer, and a lot of his music is very cerebral in a very, up-tempo, jovial way. And it just took me back to moments in my life because his music really is an imprint, not just in hip hop and R&B, but across so many genres, electro punk, jazz, rock, and so forth. This is a good movie. Piece by Piece is currently in theaters now.